NK Telco Sports welcomes you to our coverage of high school football, where the Butler Aviators will take on the Sidney Yellow Jackets. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, Cargill, and NK Telco. Welcome to Memorial Stadium. I'm Dave Helmstetter. With me tonight, Brandon Coverman. Miami Valley League football. Butler comes into tonight's game 5-1 in MVL play, tied for atop the Miami division at 5-2 overall. Sidney, on the other hand, 4-2 in league play, and also leading their respective Valley division in 4-3 overall. When you look at this one, Brandon, it's really a big game for both these two teams. Sidney, divisional hopes, playoff hopes. Butler, same situation for the Aviators.
Yeah, really, if you're looking at Butler's side, you're looking to host a home playoff game in Butler. So if you can get a win here tonight, that helps increase your odds. You're going to get good points from Sidney on the other side. You know, if you're Butler, you want to stay neck and neck with Troy in that Miami division. Sidney, you're right on top of the Valley division, right there just above Stebbins. So, you know, it determines conference title hopes on each side, the Miami and the Valley division, but also it's important in terms of hosting a playoff game as well.
Aviators about to tee it up as number 30, Griffin Bradley, will kick it away. Here comes the return as Hughes will get across the 30-yard line. And Sidney will have the football at the 31-yard line. Let's take a look at our keys to the game tonight, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. First for the visiting Vandalia Butler Aviators under head coach Zach Geith.
They want to know their assignments and know their alignments as well. That way they match up with Sidney. They want to be able to communicate, and they also want to be able to respond to any adversity that happens tonight on the football field.
Tucker Heron will lead the Yellow Jackets in the shotgun. He'll hand it off. Hughes with the carry. Hit there immediately by Logan Shoop with a stop. And for the home team are Sidney Yellow Jackets. Keys to the game.
Clean football is one thing they want to do. They want to maintain their gap integrity, and they need to be able to run the ball effectively. And I think that's something important that Sidney's got to do with Julius Spradling out. It's got to be able to run it well on the early downs to set up things easier for Tucker Heron. Heron leads the MVL in pass yards, but it's going to be a little harder without having Spradling there.
There's Isaiah Foster. He'll get across the 35-yard line, so not much yardage there, but they'll mark that one, looks like at the 36-yard line, so that's going to set up a 3rd down and 6 football, as we said, at the 36-yard line. And, you know, one of the things when you look at the keys to the game that we have looked at over the season, very fundamental are the ones that Coach Dave Tainer always puts down for the Yellow Jackets. He wants the fundamentals of the game to be played right. There's the fake. Heron left. In trouble. He's going to be brought down there by number 3, Donovan Collins. 6'1", 220-pound senior. And I'll tell you, when you look at this Butler team, Brandon, I was just looking at the weights and the size. This is a very physical and a team that has some pretty good size.
Yeah, and Coach Geith coming in at a really good time. He's replacing Ty Cates, who was a very successful coach at Covington before he got to Butler. Cates had a short-lived tenure at Butler, but Geith coming into a really good situation here at Butler, and man, you see the size of this team. He's got some talent to work with.
Got a penalty, and it will go against the Yellow Jackets. It's going to be a 5-yard
legal substitution on the Yellow Jackets.
Walk-off, a legal substitute. Interesting call to start this one off. So Kelly's going to stand at his 11-yard line. Crump is back deep for Butler, standing at the 34. Good snap. Here comes the rush. It's blocked in the end zone. Touchdown, Vandalia. The kick was blocked by Sam Mitchell, and number 19, Joey Love, will recover it in the end zone.
Boy, just nice penetration through the line there by Vandalia Butler. He got through there really quickly, and that was easy does it there for Vandalia Butler to score and strike first.
Big special teams play by the Butler Aviators. Touchdown goes to Joey Love. Falls on the football in the end zone, and the Aviators having a little, I'm not so sure they thought they'd be kicking an extra point this quick as they're trying to shuffle in one more player, that 11th player. Well, most of them,
yeah,
they need a right tackle, and they've got one now. High snap, kick looks good though. It's good.
Bradley's kick is good.
And the kick by Bradley is good, and our score with 9:54 is the Aviators strike first. Butler 7, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our 4-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
So Butler strikes first on a big special teams play, a blocked punt. Recovery by Joey Love in the end zone after a block by Sam Mitchell for the Aviators. And you could see that set up. And I'm sure if you had a good look at it on your television, you could see that the pressure was coming from all sides, and they shot the gaps and made a big time play here early on. And the kick comes down to Hughes. He'll field it at the 15. Hughes working his way upfield. He's at the 30. He's going to be brought down there at the 30 as John Stevens, 5'10", 170-pound junior, makes the stop.
You take a look at Griffin Bradley, the one that kicked it. I was watching him in warm-ups. He was nailing them from about the 35-yard line in the early going. So you look at Griffin Bradley tonight. He might be one where if Butler's in range, where most teams go for it on 4th down, Butler might not be afraid to bring out their kicking unit.
Sidney's looking for some offense. They'll start out. Isaiah Foster will be in the backfield. Dylan Kelly in motion. Foster the call. Sidney closes that gap very quickly, and Donovan Collins again in on the stop.
Collins, one of their main players here, getting a lot of tackles. It's a good, manageable first down gain. If you're Sidney, you want to probably control the clock. We talked about how Coach Tainer's really big on the little details. I was talking to a fellow football coach throughout the week. He mentioned that about Coach Tainer. He said Coach Tainer is very particular about the details of his football team, and they want to run the ball very effectively here tonight.
Comes Foster, left side, looking for room. Not much there. Butler's led by a couple of names we've already called off. Number 2 in the MVL in tackles, Sam Mitchell, 79 tackles. And number 4, Donovan Collins, comes into tonight's game with 71 tackles. They're 2nd and 4th, respectively, in the conference in tackles. 3rd down and 3. Football at the 37. Yellow Jackets need to pick up a first down here to get some momentum. Heron rolls to his right. Under pressure. He's going to run for the first down. It's going to be close.
Short.
Looked like he should have had it, but just the angle of the pressure, so it's going to be a 4th down and short.
4th down 2.
When same thing, they run that little rollout. There's a free rusher on the edge there for Butler. Heron can't really get the corner and get around and sneak up there and get the first down. So Sidney bringing out their punt unit after another 3 and out.
Let's see how this punt turns out for the Yellow Jackets. Better snap. Pressure not there. They set for the return. It gets a great roll, and the punt's going to roll all the way down to the 13-yard line. So Butler will have the football in their first offensive possession at about the 13-yard line. First National Bank, think first scoreboard. It's 7-0 Butler over Sidney with 8:22 to play here in our opening quarter of play. Two teams, and you take a look at scoring, kind of interesting. Butler averages 27.1 points per game. Yellow Jackets, on the other hand, at 31.9 points. Yellow Jackets second in the conference, Butler third in the conference. Let's see what the Aviators do. Straight ahead goes the handoff, and maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Tackle made by number 64, Eli Biddle.
Biddle in on the stop, and it
1
looks
yard
like a loss of a yard.
Good stop there. Biddle penetrating the gap there.
They ran right at Biddle. A little bit surprising. See how long that lasts. Two receivers left side, one to the short side. Seibert goes straight back, short pass over the middle. It's caught.
A little short.
It's going to be near the first down.
Ball carrier.
Nope, they're going to give it to him.
Number 32, Aaron Turner.
Huh.
Stop made by number 6, Wilbo Shears.
Taven Crump, the receiver, he made the catch.
First down and 10 for the Aviators at their
In
own
on the stop,
22-yard line.
number 6, Wilbo Shears. And also Riley Vestal in on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Here comes the handoff.
Ball carrier is number 15, Kate Bates. Tackle made by number 59, Luke Carter.
Carter with the tackle there. Luke Carter, number 59. Caden Bates running the football. Bates, the number 4 rusher in the MVL with 527 yards. Here comes the call one more time. He's near that first down, depending on how they mark it. So a nice run again by Bates.
Tackle made by number 6, Wilbo Shears.
Bo Shears with a
Gain of
stop.
9, third
9-yard
and 1.
pickup. He's just a yard short as the clock marches towards the 6.5-minute mark of our opening quarter. I formation fumble as Seibert, number 7, Luke Seibert, the senior quarterback, dropped the football, fell on it. Whistle blows. Football rests at the 31, and it's going to leave him about a yard short of a first down. So Yellow Jackets catch a break.
Yeah. If you're wondering at home, why didn't he pick up that ball and just keep going? When that ball's fumbled, cannot advance that right there. From that spot when his knee was down. His knee was down there. I cannot advance that.
Julius Rusk on to punt.
Rusk will punt. Hughes will stand at about the 37 for the Yellow Jackets. Kick is short. It's going to go out, bounce at the Sidney 45, and the Aviators will down it right there as Sam Mitchell downs it, hands it to the official, and the Yellow Jackets have their best field position in tonight's game with a football at the 46-yard line.
Maybe this is a spot early on where you maybe try to take a shot. You don't have Spradling with each other anymore. We know they went to kind of that 2-quarterback system there for a while, did Sidney. But maybe early on this is a place where you can take a shot in the middle of the field. You're down early, 7-0. But maybe this is the time you can kind of get people going. It's a homecoming game. And now it looks like they're saying a penalty maybe on Sidney. So maybe you take that back and say maybe not take a shot now. But with that field position in this situation, and it's not early on, it's not a bad idea to maybe take a shot on first down.
Looking for footballs right now. Now we got 3 of them. First down and 10, football at the 46. Nice evening for football. You got a little bit of a breeze out of the west. And as we noted in pregame, really at the as you get to about the 20-yard line, each 20-yard line, that the wind could become a factor.
Yeah. This is true pure football weather, though, when really thinking about it. When you think about being in Ohio and you're thinking football weather and you talk to people from the South, this is football weather, October football weather. Doesn't get much better than what it is tonight here. A little light jacket, sun's behind the clouds. It's just a light little crisp breeze that just affects the special teams game in a little way. This is perfect Ohio football right here.
Yeah, it's just so amazing when you start in the 100-degree heat of August and you finally get to this part of the season.
I always said baseball weather's the most interesting. You start in March when it could be doing anything, and then you end in June when it's sweltering hot.
Foster will go straight ahead. About a 2-yard gain, call it 2nd down and 2.
Gain of 2, 2nd down, 8.
Foster has about 328 yards rushing on the season. In motion goes Hughes. He'll get the football, a little razzle-dazzle. We're going to toss it back out. And looks like Vandalia has the football, and that's number 9, Braylon Crump, but there's a flag, and I think there was a mask.
Yeah. He got his hand in the face mask there. You're right, Dave. And just play like that. Butler found it there. Sidney forced it. That was the problem. It's a smart idea maybe, to try to shift the eyes of the defense, but Butler is disciplined enough there where they sniffed that out. Best thing was.
Yeah, the face mask will go against Heron. Butler will have the football. Good defensive play. The key to that was that number 9, Braylon Crump, he stayed home.
Yeah.
He did what he was supposed to, and that's allowed him to make that interception of a ball that was coming back to the Sidney quarterback.
Yeah, and you said it best, stayed home, but it's easy to get caught up in something like that. You see the flip, you see the motion. Next thing you know, you get up out of your gap, and the next thing you know, that ball's over your head, and you're doing exactly what Sidney's trying to get you to do on that play. But he read it right there. But the best thing they could have realized there before they toss that ball is that play's blown up. You either just tuck it and run, or you just get rid of it and throw it away. He forced it there into traffic, and that is a turnover right there.
Handoff, number 6. That's Ramel Hayden. One thing about the Butler Aviators, they will use a lot of different running backs.
And it keeps guys fresh. Seibert is the 5th in MVL in pass yards too, so they keep a little balanced attack there. They're not the highest rated passing offense in the Miami Valley League. It doesn't have to be. And when you got a lot of different weapons, you keep guys fresh, and that keeps a defense on its toes.
Seibert rolls out. Boy, he had 2 receivers open. Elects to run the football, gets across the 30 to the 32. He had number 18, Corey Rice, a sophomore. There was no one on him.
No.
And but of course the Sidney defense was coming up on him and didn't allow him to have the time to get it out to Rice. Also, the one other receiver that went deep had a couple of steps on his Sidney defender. 3rd down and 3, football at the 28. Handoff, great defensive play. Hats off to number 64, Eli Biddle.
Wrapped up in the backfield by number 64.
It's the part where we see I talked just a little bit ago about, Griffin Bradley coming out for Butler. Looks like they're going to keep him on the sidelines. Did see him kick from the 35-yard line to Wormus. Bradley only a sophomore. Looks like they're going to elect to keep their offense out on the field. But nice penetration, nice by Eli Biddle. That's his 2nd play that he got.
He's an outstanding defensive lineman. Rollout, pass incomplete.
Pass intended for number 11.
Looking for number 11, Taven Crump, but it's incomplete.
Number 12, Joel Lyons. Yellow Jackets take over.
The Yellow Jackets will take over. So Sidney's defense does the job, and they'll get the football back here with 3:55 to go in our opening quarter of play here from Sidney.
A couple things they've done in Sidney defensively is early on in those rundowns. Eli Biddle's made 2 of those plays. That's the thing coaches talk about, staying on schedule, getting 4 or 5 yards on 1st down to keep you on schedule. They've done that a couple times where they get Vandalia behind schedule, force them into a 4th down situation. Luckily for Sidney, it's an incompletion, and they set up shop deep in their own territory.
Foster, he's going off right tackle. Still on his feet, dives forward. Nice effort by Foster. Not much running room whatsoever. It's number 22, Harvey Singh. Singh with the stop.
Yeah, Sidney's run. Now this is 9-10 plays they've run. They haven't had a gain more than 5 yards. Got to run that football effectively if you're the Yellow Jackets and Coach Tanner's squad.
2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. Foster in the backfield. He gets the call, steps through the hole, doesn't last long, and number 4 with the hit and the stop, Sam Mitchell. He made that first contact. Impressed with Sam Mitchell, number 4. He's an outstanding defensive player from that linebacker spot. Him and Donovan Collins, number 3. Those are some pretty good linebackers. You can almost see that already, and we're a couple minutes plus left here in this first quarter. 3 receivers left side. Foster again, he'll go right. Once again, not much running room. Number 57 in on the stop for Enrique Lopez for the Aviators. Lopez with the stop.
It's 3 and outs for Sidney here. It's like I said, you got to run that football effectively so you can set up things like the play action, because Vandalia can just add another guy in the box. They can leave their corners on islands. So Heron hasn't proved that early on. I mean, I know we're only in the first quarter, but hasn't proven that he can beat anyone over the top. You know, they don't have Julius Spradling, which makes it a little tougher on Tucker Heron. But it's pretty tough here in the early going for Sidney offensively.
Here comes the rush. They're going to fake it. Pass completed to Mitchell at the 40. At the 30, he's brought down near the 25 as Kelly hits Mitchell Davis. That'll go to the 27-yard line. Big time play. How that ball ever got to Mitchell Davis, I'm not so sure how it did, but Kelly with a completion. Have to scurry back to our records here to see if that's his first attempt of the season, but I got to believe it is. Big time play. Boy, Sidney read that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Foster straight ahead. Butler was sending everyone, just like they did on the block. In fact, it looked like the punt would have been blocked.
You know,
if he tried to kick it.
And they run a good play like that on first down. That's their best run play right there of 6 yards. Something like that is very risky, because if you don't get it, you're pinned in your deep in your own territory. But you get something like that, that's something that recharges a football team. Seems like something Coach Dunges would do. Very interesting to see Coach Tanner do it. But hey, it worked for Sidney. You know, you look great if it works. If it doesn't work, you look like the worst coach ever. But hey, hats off to Coach Tanner.
Foster straight ahead. He'll get to about the 18. I'd be curious afterwards. I would ask somebody if that was out of necessity that he threw it, because that ball would have, or that if he had tried to punt it, Brandon, don't you think it might have gotten blocked?
Yeah, well, you're right, and I think it had to have been a called play, because Davis was expecting it. Davis was turning around looking for the football. He'd be going downfield looking at that receiver there if he didn't expect it. So I think it was a called thing when they saw the formation of them bringing a full send, and now it's going to make Vandalia think twice the next time that situation happens in the course of this game.
Foster. Boy, they just keep pounding away with Isaiah Foster. He gets it to the 11, gets the first down. Foster really being the workhorse here in our first quarter. We're winding it up here, but Yellow Jackets knocking on the door with football at the 11. 1st and 10, and time runs out on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. First quarter's history, Sidney threatening, ball at the 11. We'll be back and find out what happens. You are watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for Carriage Works. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Back here at Sidney, we're going into the second quarter. All sorts of action here in the first 12 minutes. Thanks for joining us here on NK Telco Sports. I'm Dave Helmstetter. With me tonight, Brandon Koverman. Yellow Jackets football, Butler 11. Hughes trying to find room over to the right side. I'll tell you, Hughes, he's a hard-nosed player.
Yeah.
He sticks his head down and gets the ball to where the 7. They knocked him out at out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
But Sidney, ever since that fake punt, was successful, been able to run the ball better. Getting 4 or 5 yards. You don't have to get 6, 7 yards every time, but 4 or 5 yards to keep it manageable for your offense. And that's exactly what they're doing now.
3.5 yards a carry will work.
Dang right, that's good math.
Hey.
And you got to play
Woody
clean
Hayes.
football.
I grew up in the Woody Hayes era.
Got to play clean football,
Yeah.
too. It requires discipline.
Heron with the football, pushing ahead. Didn't get much that time.
9, Tucker Heron, the ball carrier. Tackle made by number 57, Julio Lopez.
Lopez again in on the stop. And they're going to they're going to put that on the 7. So really no gain. So it's going to be 3rd down and 6. And this is tough territory.
Yeah,
There's
it is.
Not a lot of room.
No.
No gain.
That's why I always say best teams execute in the red zone because you don't have the whole field to work with. You have a limited amount of space to work with here to execute.
4 receivers right. Foster goes in motion, but Heron's in trouble. He'll go down, and Sam Mitchell with the sack.
I'm going to call his name a lot tonight.
Sam Mitchell, as we said, 2nd in the MVL in tackles, picks up a sack there. Let's see what the Yellow Jackets are going to do. It's 4th down and 12 on that First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Clock moving towards 10. They would be kicking into a pretty strong wind down in that part of the end zone as it's coming out of the west.
Keep that offense on here, and be about a 30-yard field goal from this area.
They're going for it. Here comes the pressure for the end zone. Boy, there could be a flag easily there. But there was a real battle of Davis and his Butler defender, but ball is incomplete, and Butler will take over the football.
Yeah, they just went one-on-one for Mitchell Davis in the back corner of the end zone there. But, yeah, like I said, maybe a little tug on the jersey. Not quite called there. It's, half and half if you're going to get that call in 4th down or not. No complaint from the Sidney sideline there, but they bring in that running back for extra protection because Butler has 2 sacks already and it's been getting some pretty good pressure on Tucker Heron. But the thing is, you still pin Vandalia back deep in their own territory.
Now let the defense do the job. Let's see what happens. Straight ahead across the 15 to the 16-yard line. That'll be number 15, Bates with the carry.
Stop made by number 5, Hughes, and number 10, Vestal.
Hughes and Vestal in on the stop.
2nd and
3-yard pickup, 2nd down and 7. Football rests at the 16-yard line. Luke Seibert looking to the sideline. They'll send 2 receivers to the right side, 1 receiver to the short side. You got Turner and Bates in the backfield, but we're discussing things with the officials, trying to figure out what the problem is. Zach Geith out on the field. Not sure what the concern is. Looks like Greenville's up on Fairborn 7-0 in the first quarter. Boy, the last time we were here in a home game, there was all sorts of surprising victories around the MVL. Have to see what happens tonight. Seibert straight back. He's going to fire it out here on the flat. It's completed, and pass goes to number 9, Braylon Crump. He's got the first down. Butler improves their field position all the way up to the 32-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10.
Only the second pass attempt for Butler, but they both got double-digit gains on that. A pass play of 11 and 16 yards there for Seibert, 5th in the Miami Valley League in pass yards, just over 700 this year so far.
Seibert under center. He'll hand off to Crump. Crump trying to, or rather Bates, excuse me. He tries to make the cut upfield. Gets to the 39-yard line.
Tackle made by number 82, Davis.
You know, if you run the ball like that too, you're seeing Butler under gun. Watch for that play action right there to try to bite that Sidney defense and look at Butler over top. Might not happen now, but maybe toward the end of the quarter and maybe even this drive. You never know, in this 2nd and 3 situation, you could see it too. Maybe not. I probably think more of a run here, but that play action is creeping up and could happen.
Seibert rolls to his left. He's going to throw it wide open, but he cannot connect.
Pass intended for
Number 11, Taven Crump, pass is incomplete. Tell you, look at the Aviators line. You got Seth Gibson at 240, Tanner Bush at 250, Trevor Severance at 285, and Sean Wentling at 275. So they got some pretty good sized offensive linemen. Handoff. Yellow Jackets right there. Big time play is number 4, Kane Van Zant, and number 64 down on the ground there, Eli Biddle.
Butler bringing on the punt unit. I mean, you seem like Butler's get some really good chunk plays. Then they just have 1 or 2 plays where that Sidney defensive line makes a really good stop and just takes all the momentum that Butler is building towards.
I tell you, Eli Biddle on that defensive line is outstanding.
Exactly. He's been, you know, and defensive tackles don't really get the glory that maybe a defensive end gets because they're not the ones that maybe get the sacks or get the pressures or anything. But those guys stopping the run are just as critical as those edge rushers because it sets that defense back off that schedule that we're talking about that offenses like to stay on. But that's what makes, you know, you talk about the defensive tackles today in the NFL. You talk about the Chris Joneses, the Aaron Donalds, the DJ Readers of the world. If you follow NFL football, those guys are just as vital as some of the sack getters like the Myles Garretts or the TJ Watts and so on and so forth.
Well, football is going to be at the 25, and one thing that Sidney fans can certainly be happy about so far is the play of that defense. Special teams is the difference in this one, just a blocked punt that led to a touchdown, and the Sidney defense is playing very well here tonight.
Yeah, very well. Just a special teams gaffe is the difference.
They'll go to the right side as Foster. He just grinding it out. He'll get to the 30. Isaiah Foster. He'll pick up 5, so that'll make it 2nd down and 5.
Gain of 5. 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, but it's that schedule we're talking about, 2nd and 5. And it's just like in volleyball, we say stay in system. Football, stay on schedule. You know, there's certain things you want to do. It's just like baseball. We'll throw out first pitch strike. Just certain things you got to do to help your team out, to help your odds out of being successful.
Clock stops at 7:09 on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard as they look to the sidelines. Got a little bit of an equipment problem with Isaiah Foster, perhaps. Now we go. He gloves it back up. We're ready to go. He's in the backfield. 3 receivers left side, tight to the right side. Short pass. Hughes, the intended receiver. Defense reads it well. And that's Flory.
It's a good idea, but that Butler defense is so fast too. And one thing you say about the Butler defense is they're very disciplined here so far, and Coach Geith talked about that in the keys to the game, and they've hit on that key pretty well here so far.
3rd down and 5. Clock stops at 6:54. Foster to the right side, but the pass is incomplete. Boy, that could have been a disaster. Pass intended there for Ethan New, the tight end. First time we've called New's number tonight. But pass was short, and really the closest defender was from Butler.
Yeah, it's just miscommunication on Sidney's part right there. I don't know whose communication it was there necessarily, but just like on the pick they threw, it just some things out of sync on offense and Sidney in the passing game in particular here so far.
Here comes the kick. It's short. It's going to hit about midfield. Go out of bounds.
Hey, you don't see Butler send the kitchen sink, everything in the kitchen sink on that one, Dave.
Not that time. 6:44 to go on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Before our first half, I'd like to remind you tonight's game brought to you by First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, Cargill, and NK Telco. Other sponsors include Carriage Works, Chill Tech, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Bates, straight ahead, nice gain. Across the 45 to near the 40. Also like to thank Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. First down, nice run by Bates.
And it's good effective running at times for Butler. Just haven't been able to string stuff together here in the early going here as we're halfway through the second quarter.
Short pass, and I'll tell you, Seibert almost lost that football. He had to double grip it.
I don't know if he was supposed to necessarily have, just like a one-step drop, twist your hips and turn, not necessarily a three-step drop, get rid of it and go on a little bubble screen right there, but, Sidney had a good push from that defensive interior again.
Pass is incomplete, clock stops at 6:15. Out of the I formation, the Aviators will work. Bates, Yellow Jackets well prepared here tonight for most of these rushing plays.
Yeah.
And on the stop, number 10, Riley Vestal, and number 59, Luke Carter, also in the vicinity that time. The loss of a yard, third down 11, football back to the 41.
If you're Butler, I think you're looking at something for a chunk play here, about a 6-7 yard gain ideally to set up a short fourth down.
Fake, he's going to the sidelines. Pass is caught by Rusk at about they're going to mark it at the 25, so they'll pick up the first down. Julius Rusk runs that down and out route. Seibert right on target. Suddenly, the Aviators are moving the football.
Yeah, in business there. A nice little comeback pattern there to the 25-yard line, and a nice catch there. And, hey, don't even need it. That's a big play on a long third down they haven't had yet.
Going to be a procedure call against Butler. Wide receiver took a kind of a half step, and officials toss the flag. Football goes to the 30-yard line. First down and 15 as they look to the sidelines for the play. Sidney into tonight's play at 4-3 overall. They have, of course, Butler tonight, and they come back home against Piqua, and then they finish at Troy. So we've got a timeout on the field. Our timeout's brought to you by Precision Strip. We'll take a break in the action. Our score, Butler 7, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports. First down and 15 after the timeout. Seibert's going for it all. He's open. Passes incomplete, out of bounds.
Good shot out the timeout, but that's that play action I was talking about earlier. You're kind of waiting for it. You knew it was going to happen at some point. That's a good shot to take it right after the false start. You're trying to get a chunk play there out the timeout. Just didn't keep his foot in bounds here, the Vandalia Butler receiver.
Pass intended there for Braylon Crump. Boy, he's got some great speed. Let's see what happens here on our second down play. Pitch right side, Bates. In trouble, Sidney defense. Going to be a flag on the play.
I think it might be on Butler.
I think that's got face mask.
He got it on. Oh, no, they're going to call on Sidney. I thought maybe Butler's player got the hand in the cage of Sidney there.
That's going to go against the Yellow Jackets. Let's see where this puts Butler. It's going to give him a first down, or should, I believe. Going to be just shy of that first down. About a little over a yard, maybe 2. Football will go all the way to the 17. And they want to start the clock, and they do so. Clock coming up on 5 minutes. Key drive here for Butler. Yellow Jackets showing blitz. Seibert, he's a big, strong kid at 6'3", 205 pounds, and he pushes forward to get that first down.
Yeah, just a nice little push there, too, and nice contribution from the line. All they need is 2 yards there, so let's call that quarterback draw.
Yellow Jackets were showing blitz and filling the gaps, but Seibert just pushes forward, picks up the first down, ball at the 12-yard line. There's Bates looking for the end zone. And number 15, Caden Bates, finds the end zone. How many yards are we going to give him, Brandon?
12 yards right there.
12 yards. 12-yard run for the touchdown. .437 to go, first half of action. Bates' run puts the Aviators up 13-0. Extra point added. Our score. The Butler Aviators 14, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Butler's going to kick it away. 4:37 to go here in the second quarter. And boy, that was a big touchdown drive by the Aviators.
8 plays, 47 yards. Sidney needing a big return here.
Foster brought down at the 28-yard line. So Sidney will have it. 1st and 10 at the football, resting at the 28-yard line. Yellow Jackets trying to get something going on offense. Foster will be in the backfield. They'll have 2 receivers to the wide side. Mitchell Davis goes to the short side. Hughes in motion, sets up on the right flank. That's where Foster goes. He goes across the 30. And he will get to the 33-yard line. 5-yard gain. That'll make it 2nd down and 5.
Again, Sidney's done a better job after these first few drives getting that good, solid first down run. Like I said, to stay on schedule. Good 5-yard run there by Isaiah Foster.
Foster lines up at the 25. Hughes in motion. Mishandle in the backfield. And number 57, Enrique Lopez in on the stop. As Foster and Heron, the exchange does not go well.
It's about the 3rd time we've seen Sidney have some bad miscommunication on offense. A fumbled snap right there. You had, that interception thrown earlier, and then you had another pass that kind of went haywire earlier. So Sidney with some big communication errors early.
Hughes with it, and he'll get back to about the 30-yard line as number Mitchell, number 4, in on the stop, and it's going to be 4th down and 8. The Butler defense is just simply not allowing the Yellow Jackets to do anything on offense. They're just in on Heron immediately, and that pressure has been a major difference in the way Sidney approaches the game. Kick bounces at the 45 and rolls all the way across the 30 and to about the 27-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 with 2:42 on that First National Bank Think First scoreboard. I'd like to remind everybody that replays of tonight's high school varsity football action on NK Telco Cable or the NKT.TV app will be shown on channel 153 Monday at 7 p.m. Channel 3 or 503 October 21st at 1 p.m. and October 23rd at 12 p.m. Out of the I formation. Short pass. Moving forward, in on the stop for the Yellow Jackets. Number 11, pass to Rice, but Dylan Kelly in on the stop, as well as number 28, Ward. Aaron Ward in on the stop for the Yellow Jackets.
Looks like, Butler's got a little time to take all their timeouts. They pretty much done everything under centers. You don't expect them to change and go gun here, even in a 2-minute drill, so to speak.
Straight ahead. Tackle made there by number 59, Luke Carter. Another number we've called a lot tonight.
Interesting. You'd think Butler would have maybe a tad bit of urgency, but running it there on 2nd and 6 and throwing a bubble screen, it's interesting.
Now they want to chew the clock up. Confident their defense can hold the Yellow Jackets. They're going to throw it this time, though. Over the middle, pass completed. In front of the Butler bench. Barnes in on the stop.
But now that play action game is starting to get more effective for Butler. They've got about 3 play action passes that have been effective. One was an incomplete pass, but almost a touchdown. So that play action game is starting to be effective now for Vandalia Butler.
Clock coming up on 1:15. There's the sack. Big time defensive play by number 59, Luke Carter. He gets the sack. 1:04, and Vandalia Butler will take the timeout. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. We'll take a break in the action. Our score: Butler 14, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
2nd down and 15. Seibert over center. Going downfield. Pass is going to be incomplete, but there's going to be a penalty marker. And I'm afraid that's going to be interference on the Yellow Jackets.
Like Joel Lyons, the guilty party there. Hands was there. They say, well, there wasn't a catchable ball. Yeah, but you can't make that hand contact downfield, and it's not a good penalty. The ball wasn't even catchable. Oh, just a bad penalty for Sidney right there.
And the officials are going to talk about it. Pass interference against Sidney. That's 15 yards.
And I think that's the right call. And that's why, in my opinion, pass interference should not be a spot foul. It should just be a 15-yard penalty.
That's going to put the ball in Sidney territory as we're under a minute to go. We're going to mark that one at the 46. So we got footballs on the field and lost flags, all sorts of dilemmas for the officials here tonight. I'll tell you what, he's got a good view out there at the 15.
Yeah, he does.
Play's going to come right at him.
1st down 10.
It's the benefit of being the back judge.
That's right. He can be back there as far deep as he wants. Seibert, midfield, lets it go, gets hit, but there's an open receiver. That's going to be a touchdown. Number 9, Braylon Crump hauls it in. And I'll tell you, Seibert got nailed as soon as he let that one go, but that's a touchdown.
But again there, Dave, it's that play action again. Let that post pattern develop. You know you have to take a big hit. He's taking that risk. He knows he's taking that risk right there when he steps up in the pocket and flies that. But he gets the benefit of taking that hit, but Butler gets 6 points there on a 46-yard touchdown strike there for Butler.
46 yards. Bradley will try and add the extra point for the Aviators, and they can go up to 3 touchdowns. Kick is up. It's good. Bradley adds the extra point, our score. Butler 21, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Braylon Crump with a 46-yard reception from Luke Seibert. And the Aviators taking advantage. And it's 21-0 as we approach the half.
Play action game, and like I said, I've said it a few times, it's now opened up for the purple and gold, and it sets up a 21-0 lead with very little time for Sidney to do anything, and the Sidney offense has really struggled to get anything going.
Long line drive kick. It's going to find the end zone, so the Yellow Jackets will have the football at the 20-yard line. And 49 seconds remain in the half. Tip City bouncing back after their loss to Butler last week with the lead. Their game here tonight. Troy up on Stebbins, 21-0. Xenia over Piqua at the half, 7-3. Here comes Foster. Nice cut upfield across the 25 to the 26. Lehman with a big lead over Covington. In motion comes Hughes. He'll get the football and he'll be tripped up in the backfield as number 25.
Tripped up in the backfield.
Riley Seibert.
By number 25, Riley Seibert.
Seibert with the stop and loss of a couple, so that's going to make it 3rd down and 7 for the Yellow Jackets. That's going to end our first half of football. Butler Aviators up by 3 scores. Butler 21, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Second half coming up here on NK Telco Sports. Thanks for joining us here on homecoming night. Sidney and Butler, the Butler Aviators up by 3 scores, and they scored with 9:54 to go in the opening quarter of play when Joey Love fell on the football in the end zone after a block punt by Sam Mitchell. And Bradley's kick made it 7-0, 9:54 first quarter lead for Butler. Second quarter action, Caden Bates had a 12-yard run. Bradley with the kick, and it was 14-0. Then a 46-yard pass to Braylon Crump from Luke Seibert. Extra point kick was also good, and it was 21-0 with 49 seconds to go. And boy, you look at that special teams touchdown. Then you also look at the long pass play right there at the end of the half.
Yeah.
And boy, just tough things for the Yellow Jackets to handle.
Yeah, and you take a look at the numbers. There's 106 yards through the air for Butler that first half, 62 on the ground. Sidney only 39 pass yards, but 37 of them were on that fake punt. So really, Sidney just anemic on offense, nothing much going for them, and really having a tough time moving the ball here. This drive right here sets the tone for what's going to happen the rest of the half.
And our halftime stats all brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. We're underway. Second half action. And Butler will have the football at the 35-yard line. Yellow Jackets have, you know, when you look at their defensive output, we talked about Eli Biddle a couple of different times. Eli's probably been the highlight of the first half.
He's made a few plays to put Butler behind schedule, but they've been able to run that play action. Sidney at times has had plays just like that, like you see there, that really kind of disrupted Butler's movement down the field. But Butler's got the play action game working, and I feel like I beat a dead horse talking about it in the first half, but it worked. They got things open. They've been getting behind the Sidney back line there, and they've been able to get some plays down the field to work.
Football at the 36-yard line, 2nd down and 9. 2 receivers to the far side. In motion, handoff goes to the backfield, and Bates, but stopped there by the Yellow Jackets. Number 5, Bryce Hughes with the tackle. So it's going to remain 3rd down and 9. Clock at 11 minutes on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Butler comes into tonight's game in league play at 5-1, trying to make it 6-1. Seibert looking for Rusk. He'll bring it in.
No, it hit the ground.
It's going to hit the ground, and a one bounce pass, and Rusk unable to get to it. That'll stop the clock at 10:43, and that means the Aviators will be forced to punt it away, and Rusk will go back to punt it, and Hughes will be deep for Sidney, standing at the 31-yard line.
Well, that turf does give you a favorable bounce, though, like that, when it bounces up right on your chest like that. So, but a good stand there by Sidney. Good early down run stops, which has been the key for them to have what success they've had on defense at times.
Davis in there quickly for Sidney. Almost had a block himself that time, but the kick will go off the side of the foot and goes down to the 28-yard line, and Sidney will have it. 1st and 10 at the 28. Yellow Jackets, as Coach Dave Tainer had said, trying to establish that running game, and that's been a challenge all night, Brandon.
Yeah, it has, and it's something they kind of struggled establishing all year, and now without Spradling, without Tank Fleming out there, you have those guys away on the offense. It really makes Tucker Heron and his offense have to rely on that run game more, and they just haven't ran it effectively here tonight. It's been a struggle, but Foster at times has made plays like that where he could have been tripped up right in the back and at least got a yard out of it, and he's down.
And he goes down and slow getting up, and teammates over there trying to help him up, and he does. He gets up, and Sam New and number 73, Sean Stromanger, help Foster get up, but Foster's going to come out. Fell on the shoulder, but let's hope there's nothing serious about that injury. Heron will be the quarterback. He's going to hand it off. Diamande with it. He'll get across the 30 up to the 28-yard line. Couple yards pickup. Ashad Diamande. Backup running back, 5'9", sophomore into the lineup.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
That was his 3rd carry of the season. Has about 3 yards in those 3 carries. He'll be in the backfield. Hughes up front as Heron the quarterback. He goes straight back. Pressure's there. Over the middle. Pass is intercepted. Intended for New over the middle, but number 5 for Alan Mabeson, junior defensive back, will pull it in, and Butler will have the football at about the 47-yard line.
Again, it's forcing it. It was a 3rd down there, so, I know you got to throw it up, but it's a tough play right there. And now Butler with favorable field position. Maybe this is right after a turnover. You see teams like to take a shot. Maybe this is a time where first second play they go back to that play action that's been successful, and they throw the ball down the field for a big gain.
A lot of pressure that time on Tucker Heron, and results in interception. In motion, Seibert. He hands it off to Bates. Bates, he'll pick up a couple of yards. 2nd down. We'll call it 2nd down and 9. He just gets a yard that time. Clock coming up on 9 minutes.
Homecoming night here tonight, Dave, and we have a good night for homecoming tomorrow night here at Sidney.
And it looks like a 1st down for the Aviators on that short pass play. Kyla Rush, the homecoming queen, I believe.
Yeah.
As they had ceremonies shortly before tonight's game.
You know, I learned that you escorted the homecoming queen at one point tonight. I'm very interested to find that out about you, Dave Helmstetter.
Not tonight. A long time
a long
ago.
time ago, I know. But still.
They call it 50 years ago, and no one cares. Going for the home run, pass is incomplete. I know that's hard to believe to some folks, but yes, I did. That'll make it 2nd down and 10. Clock stops with 8:31 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The night got off to a tough start for Sidney with that block punt. The Aviators went up quickly. With the football for Vandalia. Number 11 is Taven Crump, and he'll make a couple of yards. Let's call it 3rd down and 6. I want to pull up the homecoming court for tonight. We had Olivia Bargy, Ajana Cotton, Kyria Hudgens, Kamora Johnson, Haley Richardson, Kyla Rush, of course, Kylie Spade. That was the Queen's court. On the King side, Hayden Ball, Isaac Basil, Mitchell Davis, Tucker Herron, Dylan Kelly, Jarrett Payne, and Riley Vestal. I want to acknowledge those young people that are all a part of the homecoming court here tonight at Sidney. Information provided by folks here at Sidney. 7:50 to go. It's 4th down and 6. Football inside the 40. Seibert under pressure. He's going to escape. He's going to have the 1st down and more. Inside the 20. He'll be run out inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. So a big game by Seibert. That's a 30-yard pickup.
Boy, but that right there is made by the running back right there. In there for pass protection. Seibert steps up in the pocket. He doesn't have anything, but that whole right side is open. But that was a nice blitz pickup there by Ramel Hayden right there, who did a nice job in letting Seibert step up and take off and get that 30 yards right there.
Greenville up 10-0 on Fairborn. Troy in the lead comfortably against their opponent. Xenia up by 4.
Ooh.
No, nothing there as Yellow Jacket defense makes a big play. That's number 10, Riley Vestal.
Just right there on fullback dive from the 8.
2nd down, football at the 9. Butler needs to get into the end zone.
Oh, there's movement there. That's going to be the left guard right there.
Procedure call against Butler.
55 Grant McConaughey.
That'll push him back to the 14-yard line. Under center, Seibert. And in trouble, somehow escapes the grasp twice. Trying to power his way forward. He'll get to the 12-yard line. Brought down there by Kane Van Sant.
I don't even know how he got out of that and got positive yardage.
Yeah, he was definitely under duress. Third down and 12. Clock's counting down. Out of the I formation. Seibert looking for the end zone. Pass is incomplete.
Intended for Corey Rice there.
Rice, the intended receiver.
Just did a little stop and go there. He looked at Rice, and once he looked at Rice, Rice knew to go. That was his signal just to go. They had him on an island there. They had the corner on an island there. Oh.
Maddox Barnes on the defense for Sidney. Did a good job.
The stop and goes are one of the hardest routes to run because you build up all that steam, you stop, and you got to be patient for a second, get kind of a signal. Then you got to pick back steam back up, and then you got to run again.
Griffin Bradley is going to try the field goal. We're going to mark that at the 19, so it's a 29-yard field goal attempt. Kick is blocked. Davis had it blocked. Aviators trying to advance it, and they're going to get to the 5. It's going to be out of bounds.
It was behind the line of scrimmage, so they can't advance it. It's if that ball gets beyond the line of scrimmage and blocked, that's when you can't advance it. That's when it's dead. So if it's beyond that line of scrimmage or behind that line of scrimmage, Butler can pick up that ball and go.
Sidney will have the football, and so they block the field goal. And it's going to be 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets. They'll start at the, looks like they're going to mark it at the 5, so it'll be, they're going to mark it at the 4-yard line, excuse me. So Yellow Jackets will have the football at the 4. As they look to the sidelines for the call. Foster, he'll be back in the lineup. He's in the I formation. He'll get the call. Straight ahead, Foster. He'll get to a yard on the play, so it's 2nd down and 9. The football's at the 5-yard line. They'll have 3 receivers to the left side, Foster in the backfield. Clock under 5 minutes to go on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Here comes Foster, diving forward to the 9-yard line.
Tackle made by number 10, Raven Brown.
Third and 5. Yellow Jackets need a big play here, just to change field position. There's the pass out to Davis. It's complete.
I don't know if that was by design or what, but
well, it looked like there was a moment of more than a moment of hesitation for Tucker Heron. He just flings it out there to Mitchell Davis, and it's a catch and a 1st down, ball to 20. Foster cuts it up, nice move, gets his 5 yards. Foster made a nice cut there.
He did.
You know, it's running room is pretty difficult here tonight for the Yellow Jackets. Nice cut by Foster to make it a 2nd down and 5 and get the football to the 25. Aaron, he's just going to toss it away. And boy, I tell you, Butler's defense had that played to perfection.
Man, they're disciplined, and it's like what Coach Geese talked about in his keys to the game is, you know, that gap discipline, you know, knowing your assignments. That Butler defense is very stingy. They're very fast. They fill their lanes. They do everything right. It's so technical, you know, it's almost perfect, really, in a way.
Aaron's going to throw it long, but boy, it's just hard to throw into an 11-mile-an-hour wind.
And I think
they're going to catch an interference call there.
Yeah, they threw a flag before. He interfered with him twice. He grabbed him, and then he pushed him down on the backside. So that's 2 fouls against number 10 there, Rayvon Brown. Well, they're asking probably how to enforce it and figuring out the spot. Pickle up on Xena. That's a little bit of a mild upset.
Pickwa comes to town next week for the Yellow Jackets.
It's a big rivalry game you'll be on the call for.
Yellow Jackets, Pickwa 1-6 overall, looking for their second win. Penalty is assessed, and it goes to the 40. Bremen and Coldwater tied at 14. There's a one to contemplate on if you're an MAC fan.
That's an eyebrow raiser across the area. Yeah, if you're a MAC football fan or just a football fan in general.
Foster in the backfield. He gets the call, right side. 42-yard line. Gain of 2, call it second down and 8. We also don't want to forget the king of the court tonight on the homecoming was Isaac Basil. And, of course, the queen was Kyla Rush.
Also,
homecoming.
Also, they had 2 kings here tonight. Hayden Ball was the other king, too. They did say they had a tie in voting.
Oh.
I've never seen that before.
Hayden Ball?
Yeah, it was also once. They had 2 kings.
Pass in and out of the hands of number 10, or Yvonne Brown. Thank you for pointing that out. They have a large homecoming court. As we noted, all those festivities took place before the start of tonight's game.
Hopefully they all have fun at the homecoming dance and they all stay safe and have a good night and dance the night away.
Football at the 42. Aaron looks right, now goes left, looking for Davis. Trying to get there. That time really was pretty good defense.
Yeah.
As Davis wasn't able to get inside and passes incomplete. That'll stop our clock at 2:32 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's just better positioning there that time by Brown. Going downfield, trying to go downfield to Mitchell Davis there, are they? And he kind of boxes Davis out, but he's initiating contact too, so it's okay for Brown to push back, and ball was just not quite there, but good coverage there by Brown.
Here comes the punt. Kelly will get it away, punt into the wind.
Ooh.
Well, that takes a dive at the 45, and Yellow Jackets will down it. Isaiah Foster all over the field tonight will down it. Wind is about 11 mile an hour is what the reading I get. West-northwest, and that makes it very difficult. Yellow Jackets are facing that wind right now, and it's kind of going across the field. And we've noticed it on that punt and a couple of throws. Yellow Jackets looking to blitz. They'll get it outside. Butler will have a nice pickup, number 18, Corey Rice, sophomore, with the reception. Rice will come back over here to the right side along with Julius Rusk. They'll line up to the right side. Bates in the backfield. Handoff, Bates at the 40. Tries to dive forward. And he'll get to, yeah, they're going to mark him down at the 38-yard line. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. Once again, Bates the only one in the backfield. Seibert under center. He'll go in motion. Bates does. It's going to be an incomplete pass, but we got somebody moving in that line. Let's see how they call it.
And a legal shift.
Shift against the Aviators.
Lions on the cover, number 12. Illegal shift, the indication on the Aviators.
Minute 36 on our First National Bank Think First scoreboard.
Second and 8.
There's a false start.
False start goes against Butler as things get a little sloppy here as we come to the conclusion of the third quarter. I don't know, I think that wind is picking up.
Yeah, it is. Our papers just tried to start blowing around here a second ago.
False start on the Aviators. It'll be second and 13.
That wind's up to 15 mile an hour now.
Getting chilly now. We know it now. It's in October, and we had some pretty nice weather in September. It was one of the warmer September months that we had here in recent memory.
Got a timeout. Butler wants to talk about it. Timeout's all brought to you by Precision Strip. We'll take a break here. Our score, Butler 21, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
We are here, and here, and here. Mr. Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Mr. Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Second down and 13. Following that timeout, brought to you by Precision Strip. Seibert straight back, looks to his left, in trouble. And with the sack for the Yellow Jackets, number 59. With the stop, number 59, Luke Carter with the sack.
It's his second sack of the night.
Luke Carter came into tonight's game with 3 sacks.
Yeah.
So if he's got 2, that's going to move him up the ladder in league play. He stood 5th. Pass is incomplete as once again
Luke Carter.
We got Luke Carter and Eli Biddle. Those two have played some pretty good defense for the Yellow Jackets here tonight.
Yeah, some great line play from those two. You're right. And Biddle more in the run game. Luke more of the pass rush game has been a little better here, and it's keeping Sidney in this game. The offense just hasn't capitalized on any opportunities. We know they had a goal-to-go situation, but didn't convert there. So interesting look here for Butler as they're punting again. And Sidney looks like they're going to try to bring everything back. They may drop a few kids out here.
Rusk, he'll handle it. Boy, Davis again just misses the block. Hughes makes a fair catch signal. Unable to corral it, but Butler will down it at about the 18-yard line. So they'll have the football at the 18. Yellow Jackets trying to get some offense going. First and 10, football at the 18-yard line. 38 seconds remain on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard here in third quarter action from Sidney. here at Memorial Stadium on the 30-0 field. Foster has got some running room. Loses the football. Ball is picked up. Ball is not down, and he'll find the end zone. Football at the 24 yard line as Austin Flory races to the end zone. It's a touchdown. And on the Sidney sidelines, they want an explanation, Brandon, but I think
he lost it on the downswing, and unfortunately no replay review, but
I would say that the guy that picked it up was already on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's a 23-yard run with a fumble recovery by Austin Flory.
25 yards there, maybe.
I'm calling it 23. Extra point kick, up and good. And with 27 seconds remaining in the third quarter, the Yellow Jackets stunned by a turnover that leads to a touchdown. Our score, Butler 28, Sidney nothing. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Here comes the kick. Following Butler's fourth TD of the night. Foster still on his feet, trying to get to the 30-yard line. He'll go down at about the 28. So we're going to call it a 23-yard return with a fumble by Austin Flory for the touchdown for the Aviators as we wind down this third quarter. Boy, and I tell you, the final seconds of the last two quarters have been a disaster for the Yellow Jackets.
And it's not like, Butler's offense has been all right. Not spectacular, not terrible. But a fumble recovery like that and a block punt makes it, 28-0, but read option there.
Aaron will keep the football, get it across. Well, now they're going to mark it at the 30. Clock is going to wind down, and the third quarter is over here at Sidney. Butler 28, Sidney nothing. We'll move on to the fourth quarter. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Hometown Opportunity serves Mercer County, Auglaize County, Darke County, and Shelby County.
The website as a whole is pretty user-friendly. I was able to filter down my options, see what types of jobs were out there for me in the area.
It really opened up my eyes to the employer market around here.
We know that our local candidates, a lot of times, are most successful candidates because they want to come here and stay.
It's become the go-to site for anybody looking for a job in the region.
Starting the fourth quarter, Sidney will have the wind at their back. Heron is going to keep it. Defense just swarms on him.
He took a hard hit there. Ouch.
Braylon Crump with the tackle. Eleven and a half minutes to play. Aaron will take the snap. Davis to the right side. Trying to get it out in the open, but it's going to be incomplete. Davis frustrated by the defense there. He ran the pattern. Kelly will punt it. This time he'll have the wind. Clock starts. Play clock, that is. Not sure why it stopped. Good snap. Here comes the pressure. Line drive kick. Here comes the return. On his feet at the midfield mark. He'll be run out. Nice return by number 11, Taven Crump. I'm not sure how that ball did not get blocked.
No, I'm not sure either.
Line drive kick with the wind. Of course, it's a kind of a swirling across the field wind. But the Aviators, I tell you, they do about as good a job as rushing a punter as we've seen all year.
Yeah, you're right.
First down and 10.
They are literally on the kicker. 28-0, 11 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Butler will work out of the I formation. Bates straight ahead. Gets to the 40-yard line.
I think Butler probably runs a drive here, just kind of consistent smash mouth football here. Kind of getting that clock down. You know, if you can get a score, you get to that running clock. But you think Butler just wants a drive, a good sustained drive here. Maybe show some balance, maybe a little pass here and there. But just trying to use their force to dominate here.
Luke Carter in on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Turner up front. In the eye is Bates. He'll get the football. He'll go to the right side. Pounding it straight ahead.
Stop made by 64,
Eli Biddle in on the stop for Sidney. Makes it 3rd down and 5. Seibert. Here comes Bates. Davis, one of the Yellow Jackets, in on the stop. Along with number 20, Malik Franklin. Ooh, that's number 20 also. First time we've called his number.
Yep.
Or is that 28? That's 28, excuse me. That's Aaron Ward in on the stop. Short pass right side and stays in bounds, picks up about 3. So we move towards 9 minutes to go in this one.
Gain of 3, 2nd down, 7.
Out of the eye. And number 6, Ramel Hayden.
Stop made by number 73, Sean Strominger.
Not much of a gain, so it's going to make it 3rd down and 7. Give him a yard pickup. Football's at the 29 is where they'll mark it. Seibert, fake the Bates, short pass, completed. Davis with the tackle. Mitchell makes the catch.
Tackle made by number 82, Mitchell Davis.
So it's going to be 4th down and about 4 for the first down for Butler. Hayden with the football. Powers forward. He's going to have the first down, I believe. Have to make sure of where the mark is at.
Number 6, Hayden, the ball carrier.
And they'll move the chains. Drive continues.
First down and 10 for the Aviators.
Clock coming up on 7 minutes. They go to the right side. There's a flag on the play. Crump with the carry.
Gonna be against Butler. A hold there. I believe around the edge there. Or sorry, an illegal shift, my bad.
Shift call goes against Butler, and it's going to make it first down and 15. Play clock under 10 seconds. Clock at 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Crump in motion, right side, and all sorts of flags on that play.
Yeah, wasn't messing around in the neutral zone, I think. Something that caused the defense, or maybe.
Penalty will go against Butler. Aviators really haven't had many penalties until this series.
No, I thought maybe Coach Geese was thinking that there was a jump in the neutral zone which caused the center to shift back, but it's another 5 yards against Butler. And as you're seeing a little bit of the Butler student section empty in and out, as they're 6 minutes away from their 6th victory of the year.
There's a healthy breeze and a pretty good temperature drop going on right now.
Yeah.
Late in the game, 6 minutes to go. Your team up 28-0.
It's starting to get the time of year and stuff, and we were talking about in the pregame how, we enjoy the first couple months or the first couple weeks of the season. We enjoy the nice weather. We can come up here in shorts and chill out. Now it's gradually adding layers, and we talked about how weird the football season can be. I've heard people suggest that the baseball season even could be played at this time too, that you'd have better weather now in October and November than you do what you do in March and April at times, which in some years is true.
Personal foul. That's going to go against Sidney, so whatever Butler lost on the procedures, they're going to gain back on this unsportsmanlike conduct call against Sidney. So the football goes now to the 15.
That wind's picking up.
It's going to make it second down and about scoreboard showing about 2 yards.
A little bit of rain coming in too now, and we're seeing really Butler and some Sidney fans starting to empty out here.
And the I formation. Bates, the I back. And another penalty. Seibert's hurt, I think.
Yeah.
Something happened to Seibert.
I think if you're Coach Geese, you got to get him out the game now. You got the game in hand.
They're just riding That big offensive line that they have. I'll tell you, Bates is nice running back. Finds his holes, makes good cuts. Very efficient. It's going to make it 3rd down and 7 on the procedure call against Butler. Rice will go to the right side. 2 receivers left. Bates in the backfield. Pitch to Bates, left side. Finds the hole. Gets to the 15.
Still going to be a couple yards short, probably about 2 yards short there.
So it's going to make it 4th down and 2. Everybody's standing in the right spots along the sidelines. Ball's placed at the 15, and he needs to get to about the 17 for that 1st down. So
4th and 2.
4th and 2, the call. Seibert under center. Pitch right side. There's the cut. Should be enough for the 1st down. As Bates will have the 1st down, the clock continues to move. Football at the 13-yard line. And it's kind of funny whether you have a running clock or not. What the Aviators are doing right now is the equivalent of a running clock.
Yeah.
Bates straight ahead.
And they're in field goal territory too. And I know the wind is strong and against them, but it is favorable in their way.
And I think they would be content to go for it even if it was 4th down.
Yeah, they're just letting that clock milk. And
so you can see the clock. We're coming up on 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Play clock right now at 15. And if they're smart, they can let that go down another 10 seconds. So Bates in the backfield gets the call. Yellow Jackets initial surge. Hughes in on the stop for Sidney.
Ball carrier is number 15, Bates.
Marking it on about the 12, so it's going to be 3rd down and 9. Probably had an opportunity just to run it outside. That might open it up a little bit more. Let's see what they do. In motion, or going right side. Going to roll left. Seibert looking for the end zone, and he will find it with 2:30 on the clock. Luke Seibert.
Touchdown Aviators, number 7, Lucas Siebert.
A long drive.
12-yard run.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 play drive there for Butler.
And with the score, the clock counts down.
Yeah.
Bradley with the kick. It's good. He's perfect on the night. And that ups our score to 35-0. Butler with a big lead over Sidney. You're watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.
Crown, your hometown global leader in the material handling industry, named one of America's best in-state employers of 2023 by Forbes magazine, has positions available in engineering, marketing, sales, IT, and more. We offer a full range of employee benefits, competitive wages, advancement opportunities, and ongoing training. Join our growing team of 18,000 plus employees. Visit crown.jobs and apply today, or find us on social media by searching Careers at Crown.
35-0. Butler with the lead, and once we kick it off here, the clock's going to be counting down. talking a little bit about the defense for Butler. Aviators have they're pitching a shutout tonight, and it's been a pretty solid effort by Butler tonight.
It has, and you know they're one of the more elite teams in the Miami Valley League, and they're showing it why they're leading the Miami division, and they're having a really good game here tonight. So they're gonna need someone to hold here because it's getting so windy out, and that clock will now roll, that running clock, and that kick, wow, it just hung there.
That wind's picked up, it's swirling.
And I don't know, did Butler get that?
Butler may have come up with the football. The coaching staff for Butler pointing they have the football, but let's see what the officials
I think they're saying Sidney's got it now. But, man, that ball hung there forever, and you kind of forget sometimes. You're like, oh, crap, that ball's in play. Once it goes past 10 yards, it's not a punt. But
that was close.
Yeah, very close.
In fact, Sidney, number 19 for Butler's going, I had the football, but Sidney will have it. And it's going to be at the 31-yard line. We're moving on to our final minute of play. $35-0. Butler with a convincing win here over Sidney. Foster, draw play. He'll get it across the 35 and moves up to the 39 is where they'll mark it. So you got one more play, and it's going to be the ball game. Let's see what the Yellow Jackets do. Foster again, straight ahead. He breaks it loose at the 50. He'll get across the 30. Steps out of bounds somewhere in the vicinity of the 16 or 26-yard line, excuse me, but the clock is going to run down. Final score, it's going to be a 35-0 victory for Butler tonight as they move to 6-1 in league play and 6-2 overall. Two teams congratulating each other, and we'll keep it right here, and we'll remind you of all. I'll do a little housekeeping here, and then we'll select our player of the game for tonight. Tonight's game brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, Cargill, and NK Telco. Scoreboard sponsor tonight: First National Bank, Keys to the Game, Keyhole Pizza. Our timeout sponsor, Precision Strip, player of the game, which we'll get to here in a moment, brought to you by NK Telco. And our post-game statistics, all brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. We'll come up to that here in just a moment. And Live View tonight, thank you to Cargill for providing Live View sponsorship. Additional sponsors: Carriage Works, Chiltech LLC, Cy Schwiedemann Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. I'd like to also remind you that tonight's game will be replayed on NK Telco Cable or the NKT.TV app, Channel 153 Monday at 7 p.m., Channel 3 or 503, October 21st at 1 p.m., and October 23rd at 12 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Taking a look at the scoring recap here briefly. Vandalia Butler started out first with a block punt. Joey Love fell on the football in the end zone, and that, following the Bradley kick, made it 7-0, 9:54 in the opening quarter of play. They added another touchdown on a Caden Bates 12-yard run with 4:37 to play. Bradley's kick made it 14-0. Then right before the close of the first half, they tacked on their third score of the game, a 46-yard pass to Braylon Crump from Luke Seibert, and Bradley's kick made it 21-0. Third quarter action. Not until the end of the third quarter, 23-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Fumble recovery return for a touchdown by Austin Flory made it 27-0. Bradley's extra point made it 28-0. Scoring wrapped up in the fourth quarter with 1:59 to play as Luke Seibert had a 12-yard run. Bradley once again added the extra point, and it was 35-0. Butler with the lead, and the running clock began. And let's take a look at some more statistics, all brought to you tonight by Grand Lake Health Systems.
Thanks, David. First, take a look at for Butler. They had 124 yards through the air, 95 on the ground. A defensive and a special teams touchdown leads to those numbers being a little lower on that end when you score 35 points. But, you know, over 220 yards of offense for Vandalia. You take a look on the Sidney side. They had 92 rush yards. It kind of helped the last two plays by Isaiah Foster were big, and they had 49 yards through the air. So overall, a little over 130 total yards of offense. But rough night for Sidney offensively on homecoming night, and they even their record at 4-4 now.
And our player of the game, and our stats, of course, brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. Our player of the game brought to you by NK Telco, and it's going to go to a defensive player for the Sidney Yellow Jackets, Luke Carter.
Yeah, Luke Carter deserves it. 2 big sacks there. Could have gave it to Eli Biddle too. He played some really nice in the run defense early on in the first half, but Luke Carter took over there in the pass rush game. So congratulations to Luke Carter, our NK Telco player of the game.
Final score 35-0. Butler with an easy win over the Sidney Yellow Jackets. Like to thank our crew here tonight on the camera, Mark Fissel. I'm Dave Helmstetter. Along with me tonight, Brandon Koverman. You've been watching high school football on NK Telco Sports.